Hey everybody, once again, it's your boy Keith K. Lures. This is Extreme Testimonies. Y'all already know what it is. We're about to go into our second season on today. We're going to be filming MARNI Ali. All right, and she know, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? It's going down today. You guys do not want to miss this episode. You guys tune in to Extreme Testimonies on the YouTube channel for right now, but we are coming to a network near you.
Y'all ready for this?
So much. You better all the things happen in your life. And they told you everything that wasn't right. Now you got a place to tell your story. So turn your TVs on and turn it up for
On the last episode of Extreme Testimonies.
And then he put me in the scandals. But I got caught in a scandal with these different bishops and pastor and prophet and all of them, all trying to see who can have sex with me first. When I came through with the scandal, I didn't realize I was being tested. I don't want nothing to do with church. I don't want nothing to do with these men of God. It was a mess. So long story short, it ended up coming up another bishop. I was so mad. I was so angry that he did that. Lo and behold, of course, nothing never happened. With one of them, they did try to attack me. He did attack me in a room. He tried me. He tried me. But the thing was, he did not force himself on me because I almost did kick him through a wall. But he thought that he could do that. And when he was apologetic the way that he was, I understood. He was saying, I didn't know. When I was telling him no, he's telling me he didn't know. And that was because women were allowing him to do it, and I got that. So, but with that being said, I said, no, I'm done with the church. I'm done. You mean to tell me these men of God are doing this? Oh, I'm getting caught up, and then I get a phone call from the bishop who introduced me to them. Listen, they got me on the phone with Sony. Listen, they wanted me to do a reality show. This man was setting me up to do a reality show and all of that. I was on with Keisha Cole's Manny, and all these people that were on with Sony, and they was getting me to do this reality show. And sure enough, when he took advantage of me like that, when I was caught there, that deal went down the drain. But I didn't care. I didn't care about that type of stuff. So anyway, so from that point, I said, I don't want nothing to do with church. I don't want nothing to do with these men of God. And then this bishop calling me and asking me, did I sleep with one of the prophets? It was a mess.
Wow.
So, but that led to getting all of them on the phone. And now I'm listening to pastors, prophet, bishop. Everybody's on a conference call. We're all on there. And I'm listening to them cussing each other out, turning on each other. Mother effer this, and that, and the other. Like they going back and forth with all this shenanigans, and I'm on the phone and I got tears in my eyes. And the bishop from Toledo, Ohio, don't want to say his name. He was arguing, he was fussing at them. He was like, I left her in your hands to look after her, to take care of her, and y'all do this to her, y'all do this. And he went in on them, and next relationships split up, broke up, and that's how that went. So when it came to Church in the Raw, I stepped back for a second, but I couldn't stay back, when it came to, just, I didn't want nothing to do with the church. I said, look, I ain't grew up in the church in the first place. I don't want nothing to do with it. They all slimy, ain't nobody real, they fake. I don't want nothing to do with them, and God just started dealing with me. He just started dealing with me. And I didn't know, So from that, he started showing me different parts of why he wants me to do church in the raw, why I love the truth, why, why I have to hear the truth no matter what, I will expose it. Then God started sending me to different churches. I didn't have a title or none of that. I was no pastor. I don't care. Don't stop me from that. I'm going to go fornicate. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. You're not going to stop me. I did. I told, they thought I was crazy. And I felt like I was, but, and guess what I did, what I said I was going to do too? What? I went right back out there.
Wow. Right after seeing the big ball of fire and all of that.
Yeah.
Went right back to it.
Sure enough. Oh, but I didn't tell you how that ended though. But I want to say, okay, all right, let me just. Because an angel appeared in my house when it came to that pastor that I was dating. So I didn't finish, about the part where I said how I ended up with the pastor because, the pastor, I was seeing him for a whole year. But the events that were taking place, the longer that I got, the longer that we were in it, the more supernatural things started happening. But it got to the last part because nobody knew what was happening and God was showing people, So at the end of it, that was it for me because too many events was happening, and I knew God was coming down. Like I was like, at any given time, the Lord, something crazy is going to happen. So we got to stop this. All right. So I remember the very last day from seeing this pastor in my house. I'm telling you, I just finished eating a full-blown breakfast. I had coffee, I had eggs, bacon, waffles. I had all of that. Right. And after I finished eating, I knew what God was saying because he already put out a threat. If we didn't stop, we were going to die in our sins. Okay, wow. So he sent that through somebody we didn't know. And I was home and I said, God, I do not want him to come to my house. Please don't let him come to my house. Please don't, I just want it to be over. I'm going to ignore his calls. I'm going to say, I was saying I was going to do all of that. And mind you, I was living here in Georgia. And sure enough, this man came to my house, man. He came to my house and I was so like, oh my God, he came to my house. But when he came to the house, if you walked in, have you been to my house in Douglasville when I lived in Douglasville?
I came to your house in Douglasville.
Word. So listen, so when you came into the house, remember the kitchen and there was a counter that went like that around the kitchen. Okay. So he went and he stood behind the counter. On one end, I stood on the opposite side. We were not even really close or whatever. And there was an angel appeared right to the right side of me.
I remember when you told me that. I remember when you told me about the angel.
Yes, the angel appeared tall as my ceiling with a sword. Do you hear me? And the sword was, okay, you see how this looked right here?
Right.
Okay. This thing looked like it's real heavy and still doing it. All right. The sword that the angel had looked like the whole bottom was like iron, and it had these little twists and but the iron, it went from the floor. This is how big the sword was. It went from like the whole big bottom from the floor on here was the bottom piece, and the whole rest of it was fire. It turned into fire. Wow. Do you hear what I'm saying? Right. Like the sword was made of, it turned into fire. Wow. So I told the pastor, I said, there's an angel standing, and he believed me too. I said, there's an angel right there. So we went to go say our goodbyes. Let me tell you, we did one of them with the butt sticking out. Church hug. Yeah. Church hug. Yep, we did one. Now, he went outside. I walked him outside because the angel disappeared, right? Wasn't there, didn't see him. Like, we went outside, I walked him outside, And I came back in the house, and I remember this. Reminder, I told you I just had a full-blown breakfast and everything, right?
Right.
And so when I came back in the house, I was on the floor. I started crawling. On the floor because I was sad. I was hurt. I was like, I'm ending this relationship. I know I'm not going to see him no more. I fell in love with this guy. I got to get him out my system. I'm thinking all of this. And I'm also thinking I was destroying the church.
Wow.
I came in between the church.
Wow.
So all these thoughts of guilt and condemnation and all kind of emotion. So anyway, I'm crawling on the floor, and I get past this place where the angel was. The angel wasn't there. I didn't see him, but he was there. So now I get past that place when I was crawling, and all of a sudden, I threw up all this mucus. There was no trace of the coffee, of the food. It was no trace of nothing. It was
spirit.
But I did it 3 times.
Wow.
And each time I threw my arms up. I did this. I threw my arms up. And then the last time I threw up so much mucus.
Wow.
I'm talking about demons coming out off of me.
Wow.
And
legions.
Baby, say that, because when you get hooked up with that adulterous spirit like that, you can best believe it's a grouping of them that come. And I was getting delivered from the grouping of those spirits or whatever. So, and then after that, I threw my arms up and I surrendered.
Wow.
I surrendered, and I just started repenting at that time. But the thing about it, when you do that, the feelings is still there. I thought that was supposed to go too. I was delivered, but you still have the consequence of having to be healed. Right. Okay, you got to go through that process and all of that. So anyway, back to church. When fast forward, when we get to church in the Raw, and where we are today. Listen, it is nothing short of a miracle that I was able to get through all the scandals. I was able to get through all the setbacks. Now, mind you, I'm in ministry. God's teaching me. And I also go and I get married to the guy where I said I was going to go have sex with, to the bishop and all them. And I rebelled and all. I get married to him. And then, we living good. And then next thing you know, we're homeless. I'm on the street for 8 months living in our car, and I'm still getting on Facebook Live, and I'm doing my videos. I got my hot curlers and everything.
But you homeless.
But I'm homeless.
Wow.
But I'm homeless.
Hold up, I'm gonna say it in gold words. Gold, you was living a luxurious illusion.
Right. Woo, baby, that's exactly. And I was living in my car. Remember, I had my SUV, and he had his car, and we were parking in the Walmart parking lot, and there were other cars that were lined up that was doing the same thing. We were homeless, and I would go every morning. I would bathe inside the wherever I could, inside the laundromat most of the time. Then I did most of the time in Dunkin' Donuts and stuff like that. But yeah, I was 8 months on the road, and I'm telling you, listen, God lets you see. I don't know. That's why I love the name Church in the Raw. I love it because now I can relate to the homeless person. I can relate to the street person. I can relate to the corporate person. I can relate to all walks of life without judging, because I've been there in the judging seat. I've been there, and God put me in the same shoes and the person that I was judging. He put me in that position. But I ended up now, the Lord started teaching me warfare. Spiritual warfare and deliverance, what that looked like. And, so I began, all the pieces of the puzzle started coming together with Church in the Raw. And Church in the Raw is a ministry where you will see people change their mind. That's deliverance right there. Right. That's what that is. Everybody think, it's just demons. No, it ain't demon. It's just literally a change of mind. Right. And you're getting delivered from something. You're getting delivered from a wrong thought. You're getting delivered from oppression. You're getting delivered from whatever. But that's how Church in the Raw is. And it is raw. Raw is going to go in there. It's going to speak the truth, because we stand for the truth no matter how hardcore it is, no matter how twisted it is. We stand for the truth with Church in the Raw. And I love that the Lord made it like this. So I was able to get through all of that, and also get through the trials of making promises and saying I'm going to do this, saying I'm going to do that, and then the complete opposite happens. Then you go and you're just sitting in a place where it looks like you're doing absolutely nothing, and then now your faith is being tested. Like, God, but you made these promises, but what am I doing sitting up here and homeless, sitting out here with all these different the people out on the street? What am I doing here? And then I'm living with people, and then I gotta go and I'm decorating other people's places. But yet you promised me that I was going to have this and I was going to have this. But listen, all of these different stages of me having to live with people, live on the street, this getting taken from me, this getting taken, my body being afflicted with sickness, and with COVID, and then I'm going through the motions of all these different stages of, God, I feel like I'm forsaken, but I was not forsaken. And in that time, my faith was being tried. Your faith was being tried. And on this journey, with Church in the Raw, the Lord, and keep, you see where we are right now and where I'm living at right now. And I can make this promise to you. When you stay, he said, those that endure till the end.
Come on.
Those that endure to the end. What does that look like? Doesn't mean you ain't going to get stuff all jacked up and messed up. I had it all twisted, jacked up, messed up, saved, sanctified, set apart in the church, preaching the word. And I was all like that. But God took somebody like me and would take somebody like you, no matter what it looks like. He said, listen, no matter what it looks like, I'm into the crazy. People say, God don't bless no mess. Oh, yes, he do, because I was an absolute positive mess. I was a whole entire mess, and he yanked me and pulled me out of there by his Holy Spirit. I'm telling you what I felt when I saw that fireball, that thing, that spirit, when it comes in you. And I'm telling you, it's going to transform your thinking, and that's what he wants us to do now. Because the times where we're going, where we are right now, I am going to say this prophetically, where we are right now is a time where he's saying, listen, I'm gonna perform my signs and wonders. The reason why I need to test you, the reason why I gotta put you in a position where it looks like you lost everything, and it looks like you're sitting doing absolutely positively nothing. It looks contradictory to exactly what I said. He said it is purposeful, because when I say a thing, no different than when I told those disciples, listen, we're going to the other side, and they doubted because they saw the storm arise, but they forgot I said at the end, we're going to the other side. See, the promise always comes first. And that prophetic word is going to come to you, and it probably already came to you, and the contradiction is going to show up after. Do not lose hope. Do not go to the left. Don't go to the right, but keep your eyes like flint. Stay on that truth, that promise, because God is not a liar. I promise you, if you just get past this stage, this process of what you're dealing with and have to go through, and just believe God and stand on it no matter what it is saying, you're getting to the other side. I'm standing here as a living witness, an example. I am one. I'm telling you, I don't want to tell you how much I make, but I'm telling you, I make pennies compared to what I have going on with me now. How did I end up here in this luxury place? How am I driving this luxury car with jacked up credit and don't even match the money? Listen, I was not paying these bills and stuff where I was, but because God made the promise and said, listen, this is where you're going, he is obligated to take care and make sure you have the provision to be able to do everything he said when we are in obedience. When we follow him and we do what God says to do, I promise you, provision, God's provision is in obedience. Is in obedience. So
Marni Ali, listen, this has been such a powerful testimony. Once again, I told you, when we talked about this, you said, what am I going to talk about? I said, what direction you want to go in? You got so many extreme testimonies, and this is just the short version of extreme testimonies with Marni Ali. Once again, I want you to look into this camera, and I want you to tell the people, this is what I call a touch and agree moment. I want you to speak whatever God puts on your heart, to speak to the young ladies out there, to the people that have experienced what you experienced. You've been in the street life. You've been on all rims, the corporate world, street life, the industry, deal with Russell Simmons, Dark Child out there doing it on a major level. And I want you to tell them how can they make it and how can they get their life on one accord with God and on track with God.
I can say this. The answer to everything would, Keith just said, was relationship. Relationship with God, seriously. Like, you know, we can want this, we can want that, but guess what? We can't fool God. Prayer, fasting, I did it all. If you are serious about being a part of God's work on this earth, if you truly want to be about his business, I promise you this, he is not going to let you down. So I want you just to agree with me. Believe. Speak to your mountain, whatever is in your way. Whatever is looking contradictory, you speak to the mountain and you tell it what God said. Don't go to God now one more time complaining to him. You go and you tell God what he said. You remind God of his word. It's not that you're reminding him, but he wants to hear. That's what faith is. You're talking to God about what he said. He said, listen, be anxious for nothing, but in all things prayer, supplication. Let your requests be made known with thanksgiving, believing that you have received, and the peace of God will protect your heart. It will cover your heart. It will cause you to be at peace because you believe in and you're expecting to happen what you're requesting God to happen. So I say, just stand on his promise. Don't complain to God, because that's what he said. We've been doing nothing but a bunch of complaining. Just go to him and say, look, God, you said this, or you said this in your word, and I'm looking for this to happen. I'm going to stand on it. I don't care what I say, and I'm going to speak to you, mountain. I'm commanding you to get out my way. I know what the Lord promised me, so I'm standing on it. You are a liar, and I will not believe your lies, but I will stand on the truth of God, and I receive it for myself and my family in Jesus' name. And you stand like that, when you think like that, listen, you become like a magnet. Now you become like a person where he said, seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and these things will be added to you. And it is literal. The things literally, you become like a magnet in the spirit realm, and it will chase you down. Opportunities will open for you. I'm telling you, and you will just be amazed what God is going to show you. It's going to just going to blow your mind. So don't doubt. Doubt is the number one destiny killer. I'm MARNI Ali with Church in the Raw Ministries, and I'm on Extreme Testimony. God bless.